Well, hello there, welcome back to my channel. This is the Unintentional ASMR Book Club. If you're new here, welcome. You're just in time for the bedtime stories. So tonight's book is called The Catcher in the Rye. So I'm going to be reading parts of chapter 1. So let's begin. If you really want to hear about it, the first thing you'll probably want to know is where I was born and what my lousy childhood was like and how my parents were occupied and all before they had me and all that David Copperfield kind of crap. But I don't feel like going into it if you want to know the truth. In the first place, that stuff bores me, and in the second place, my parents would have about 2 hemorrhages apiece if I told anything pretty personal about them. They're quite touchy about anything like that, especially my father. They're nice and all, I'm not saying that, but they're also touchy as hell. Besides, I'm not going to tell you my whole goddamn autobiography or anything. I'll just tell you about this madman stuff that happened to me around last Christmas, just before I got pretty run down and had to come out here and take it easy. I mean, that's all I told DB about, and he's my brother and all. He's in Hollywood. That isn't too far from this crumby place, and he comes over and visits me practically every weekend. He's going to drive me home when I go home next month, maybe. He just got a Jaguar, one of those little English jobs that can do around 200 miles an hour. It cost him damn near $4,000. He's got a lot of dough now. He didn't used to. He used to be just a regular writer when he was home. He wrote this terrific book of short stories, The Secret Goldfish, in case you never heard of him. The best one in it was The Secret Goldfish. It was about this little kid that wouldn't let anybody look at his goldfish because he'd bought it with his own money. It killed me. Now he's out in Hollywood, DB, being a prostitute. If there's one thing I hate, it's the movies. Don't even mention them to me. Where I want to start telling is the day I left Pennsy Prep. Pennsy Prep is this school that's in Hagerstown, Pennsylvania. You've probably heard of it. You've probably seen the ads. Anyway, they advertise in about 1,000 magazines, always showing some hotshot guy on a horse jumping over a fence, like as if all you ever did at Pennsy was play polo all the time. I never even once saw a horse anywhere near the place, and underneath the guy on the horse's picture it always says, "Since 1888, we have been molding boys into splendid, clear-thinking young men. Strictly for the birds. They don't do any damn more molding at Pennsy than they do at any other school. And I didn't know anybody there that was splendid and clear-thinking and all. Maybe 2 guys, if that many, and they probably came to Pennsy that way. Anyway, It was the Saturday of the football game with Saxon Hall. The game with Saxon Hall was supposed to be a very big deal around Pennsy. It was the last game of the year, and you were supposed to commit suicide or something if old Pennsy didn't win. I remember around 3 o'clock that afternoon, I was standing way the hell up on top of Thompson Hill, right next to this crazy cannon that was in the Revolutionary War and all. You could see the whole field from there, and you could see the two teams bashing each other all over the place. You couldn't see the grandstand too hot, but you could hear them all yelling, deep and terrific on the Pennsy side, because practically the whole school except me was there, and scrawny and faggy on the Saxon Hall side, because the visiting team hardly ever brought many people with them. There were never many girls at all at the football games. Only seniors were allowed to bring girls with them. It was a terrible school, no matter how you looked at it. I like to be somewhere where at least we can see a few girls around once in a while, even if they're only scratching their arms, or blowing their noses, or even just giggling or something. Old Selma Thurmer, she was the headmaster's daughter, showed up at the games quite often, but she wasn't exactly the type that drove you mad with desire. She was a pretty nice girl, though. I sat next to her once in the bus from Hagerstown, and we sort of struck up a conversation. I liked her. She had a big nose, and her nails were all beaten down and bleedy looking, and she had on those damn falsies that point all over the place, but you felt sort of sorry for her. What I liked about her, she didn't give you a lot of horse manure about what a great guy her father was. She probably knew what a phony slob he was. The reason I was standing way up on Thompson Hill instead of down at the game was because I'd just got back from New York with the fencing team. I was the goddamn manager of the fencing team. Very big deal. We'd gone into New York that morning for this fencing meet with McBurney's school. Only we didn't have the meet. I left all the foils and equipment and stuff on the goddamn subway. It wasn't all my fault. I had to keep getting up to look at this map so we'd know where to get off. So we got back to Pennsy around 2:30 instead of around dinner time. The whole team ostracized me the whole way back on the train. It was pretty funny, in a way. The other reason I wasn't down at the game was because I was on my way to say goodbye to old Spencer, my history teacher. He had the grip, and I figured I probably wouldn't see him again till Christmas vacation started. He wrote me this note saying he wanted to see me before I went home. I knew I wasn't coming back to Pennsy. I forgot to tell you about that. They kicked me out. I wasn't supposed to come back after Christmas vacation on account of I was flunking 4 subjects and not applying myself and all. They gave me frequent warning to start applying myself, especially around midterms, when my parents came out for a conference before term, but I didn't do it, so I got the X. They give guys the X quite frequently at Pennsy. It has a very good academic rating, Pennsy. It really does. Alright, so that was part of chapter 1 of this book. I hope you liked that reading. Excuse my nasal voice because I just recovered from a flu, a terrible bout of flu. It was bad. I was out for many days. Terrible, terrible, terrible. But anyway, do give it a like if you still do like this reading, and share it with someone who you think would, enjoy listening to this kind of reading. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Very few of you listen but do not subscribe. Hey, it's free. Subscribe anyway, yeah? So anyway, I've got to turn in, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Until then, have a great evening. Goodbye.